You stand in front of the mirror in the morning. The numbers from your last checkup echo in your mind. Rising cholesterol, elevated blood pressure, expanding waistline. On the outside, nothing looks dramatically wrong, but inside, your blood vessels are slowly changing. Today's story begins here, not in a hospital, but in your kitchen, where 30 minutes can quietly shift the future of your heart. Metabolic syndrome rarely arrives with flashing alarms. It appears as fatigue after meals, a tight waistband, or lab results just a bit higher each year. High blood sugar, high triglycerides, low HDL, increased blood pressure, and central obesity quietly join hands. Together, they shape a path toward heart disease and stroke. Yet each meal you choose can loosen that grip, one forkful at a time. Cholesterol is not purely a villain. Your body uses it to build hormones and cell membranes. The trouble begins when LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol, rises and sneaks into tiny cracks in artery walls. There, like sticky dust, it gathers and hardens into plaque. HDL, the good cholesterol, acts like a cleanup crew. With metabolic syndrome, the balance tilts, and the cleanup team falls behind. Imagine that your plate is a tiny laboratory. Every ingredient is a chemical signal speaking to your liver, your pancreas, your blood vessels. Saturated fats whisper, "Make more LDL." Fiber from vegetables and whole grains quietly says, "Let us carry extra cholesterol out." Refined sugars shout, "Spike the blood sugar now." With metabolic syndrome, your body is already sensitive. The lab needs calmer, wiser experiments. You may think healthy cooking is too complicated, too time-consuming. This is where the promise of a 30-minute low-cholesterol kitchen quietly changes the story. In half an hour, the length of a TV episode, you can prepare a meal that lowers LDL, supports HDL, steadies blood sugar, and calms inflammation. The clock that once chased you becomes your ally, measuring small victories instead of stress. Many viewers may remember a moment. A doctor's voice saying, "You have metabolic syndrome," or "Your cholesterol is too high." Fear rushes in, followed by confusion. Instead of memorizing lists of forbidden foods, imagine a simple plan. Build your day around heart-protective 30-minute meals. This is not about perfection. It is about consistency, honoring your heart 3 times a day. Breakfast is like the first turn of a ship's rudder. A sugary pastry and processed meat push the vessel toward higher triglycerides and insulin spikes. A 30-minute breakfast with oats, berries, nuts, and a bit of healthy fat gently steers you toward better cholesterol and steadier energy. Over weeks, these tiny turns can redirect an entire journey away from heart attack toward resilience. Oats contain soluble fiber, especially beta-glucan, which acts like a gentle broom inside your intestines. It binds to cholesterol-rich bile acids and helps escort them out of your body. The liver then pulls more LDL from your blood to make new bile. Each warm bowl becomes a small cleaning crew. For someone with metabolic syndrome, this is like sending tiny caretakers to your arteries every morning. You may say, "I do not eat many sweets," yet sugar hides in breakfast cereals, flavored yogurts, coffee drinks, and so-called healthy granola bars. Excess sugar turns into triglycerides in the liver, raising blood fats and lowering protective HDL. For a body already wrestling with metabolic syndrome, this is like pouring fuel on a slow-burning fire. Reading labels becomes a quiet act of self-rescue. Let us step into the kitchen together. In 30 minutes, you simmer oats with cinnamon, slice a handful of berries, and sprinkle walnuts on top. Maybe you add plain yogurt or a splash of milk. While the pot gently bubbles, you prepare tomorrow's portion too. The fragrance rises like a promise. This simple bowl is not punishment. It is protection, designed for your overworked heart. By lunchtime, your morning intentions often collide with reality. Emails, errands, and fatigue tempt you toward fast food. Yet for metabolic syndrome, a heavy, greasy lunch is like throwing a weight on already strained arteries. A 30-minute lunch, grilled chicken or beans, leafy greens, whole grains, olive oil, keeps blood sugar from surging and lets your heart breathe a little easier. Think of fiber as traffic control inside your digestive system. Soluble fiber slows the rush of sugar into your blood, preventing sharp peaks that exhaust your pancreas. Insoluble fiber keeps food moving along, helping your body excrete excess cholesterol and estrogen-like compounds. Together, they ease pressure on systems already under strain from metabolic syndrome, like a calm officer directing cars at a busy intersection. Protein is essential, but not all proteins speak the same language to your heart. Fatty processed meats bring saturated fat and sodium, straining both cholesterol and blood pressure. Lean poultry, fish, beans, and lentils offer protein with less burden. For someone with metabolic syndrome, this swap is like replacing a friend who always brings trouble with one who helps you carry the load. Your body does not fear all fats, it fears the wrong balance. Olive oil, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish contain mono and polyunsaturated fats that can lower LDL and may gently raise HDL. They also reduce inflammation, that slow, smoldering process linked to metabolic syndrome. A drizzle of olive oil on vegetables is not indulgence. It is a carefully chosen tool to support your blood vessels. Metabolic syndrome often travels with high blood pressure, and salt quietly tightens the grip. Excess sodium pulls water into your blood vessels, raising pressure like overinflating a tire. Processed foods hide much of this salt. Cooking 30-minute meals at home lets you season with herbs, lemon, and spices instead. Your arteries experience this not as restriction, but as relief from constant internal pressure. Picture your lunch today, a plate half filled with colorful vegetables, greens, reds, oranges, a quarter filled with grilled fish or beans, and a quarter with brown rice or quinoa, a spoonful of olive oil, a squeeze of lemon, perhaps a sprinkle of seeds. In 30 minutes, you have built a plate that nudges cholesterol, blood sugar, and weight in the right direction without leaving you hungry. Afternoon fatigue feels like a heavy curtain falling over your day. Often, it is the echo of a blood sugar spike and crash after lunch. A balanced, low-cholesterol 30-minute meal reduces this roller coaster. Instead of sharp peaks, your blood sugar traces gentle hills. You move through the afternoon more steadily, with enough energy to honor evening routines rather than collapse into them. Snacks seem small, but for metabolic syndrome, they are like doors you open many times a day. Behind one door, chips, candy, sugary drinks, quick joy, and long-term harm. Behind the other, nuts, seeds, vegetables with hummus, a small piece of fruit. Each better snack choice quietly supports insulin, cholesterol, and weight management. These tiny doors, open daily, reshape the hallway of your health. Evenings test your resolve. Stress from the day, fatigue, and emotional hunger often collide in front of the refrigerator. Late-night heavy meals and alcohol push triglycerides and blood pressure higher, especially in metabolic syndrome. A 30-minute heart-conscious dinner, lighter, rich in vegetables and lean protein, offers comfort without overload. This is when food shifts from escape to gentle medicine. Inflammation is like a silent, low flame that slowly damages vessels and cells. For people with metabolic syndrome, this flame burns brighter. Foods rich in antioxidants and omega-3 fats, colorful vegetables, berries, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish help cool it down. A 30-minute dinner featuring salmon, broccoli, and brown rice does not just feed you. It quietly changes the chemical weather inside your body. Carbohydrates are not enemies, they are energy. The issue is form and speed. Refined carbs, white bread, sweets, many snack foods hit your blood like a sudden flood, forcing insulin to scramble. Whole grains, beans, and vegetables release sugar slowly, more like a steady stream. For a body with metabolic syndrome, the steady stream is kindness. The flood is harm. Your 30-minute meals should favor streams. Even healthy foods can strain a system when portions grow silently larger. For metabolic syndrome, excess calories feed weight gain around the abdomen, which worsens insulin resistance and cholesterol profiles. Using smaller plates, filling half with vegetables, and pausing before seconds all become tools. They are not about deprivation. They are about giving your body a chance to catch its breath. How you cook can either protect or harm your arteries. Deep frying adds oxidized fats and extra calories. Charring meats at high temps can form compounds that stress the body. Baking, steaming, grilling gently, and sautéing with a little healthy oil keep flavors while reducing harm. In a 30-minute window, these methods transform the same ingredients into either burden or blessing for your heart. A heart-friendly kitchen is not full of expensive gadgets. It is stocked with smart basics: whole oats, brown rice, canned beans, frozen vegetables, herbs, olive oil, nuts, and frozen fish fillets. With these, you can create countless 30-minute meals. When your pantry supports your goals, you remove one more obstacle between intention and action, especially on the days when energy is low. Supermarkets can be confusing for anyone, especially with metabolic syndrome. Learning to read labels turns you into a calm detective. You scan for saturated fat, trans fat, added sugars, sodium, and fiber. Each number is a clue about how this food will touch your arteries and blood sugar. This habit turns shopping from a guessing game into quiet, informed protection for your future self. Trans fats, often found in old-style margarines, baked goods, and some fried foods, are like saboteurs in your bloodstream. They raise LDL, lower HDL, and inflame vessels. For those with metabolic syndrome, they add fuel to every existing fire. Choosing products labeled 0 grams trans fat and scanning ingredient lists for partially hydrogenated oils becomes a small, fierce act of self-defense. A simple rule: the more natural color on your plate, the more protective compounds you likely have. Reds, blues, oranges, and deep greens bring antioxidants and phytonutrients that support vessels and reduce oxidative stress. For metabolic syndrome, these colors act like a shield. A beige plate of refined grains and meats offers little armor. A rainbow plate is your quiet daily shield maker. Water may seem unrelated to cholesterol, yet hydration affects how smoothly blood flows. When you are dehydrated, blood can become more viscous, and you may confuse thirst with hunger. Sipping water throughout the day can gently reduce overeating and support circulation. For metabolic syndrome, where every vessel is under extra demand, this simple habit becomes a form of daily maintenance. It may surprise you, but the quality of your sleep affects cholesterol, weight, and blood sugar. Poor sleep disrupts hormones that regulate hunger and fullness, often leading to late-night eating and insulin resistance. A calm evening routine and a light 30-minute dinner can improve rest. For your overworked heart, every good night of sleep is like a deep, restorative exhale. Diet and exercise are partners, not rivals. A 30-minute walk after a 30-minute low cholesterol meal can help muscles soak up glucose, lowering blood sugar and triglycerides. For metabolic syndrome, this pairing is powerful. Imagine each step as a gentle broom, sweeping sugar from your blood, while your meal keeps cholesterol from piling up in the corners. Food is never just nutrients. It carries memories of family tables, celebrations, and comfort in pain. Asking someone with metabolic syndrome to change eating patterns is asking them to gently rewrite stories. Instead of labeling old favorites as bad, we can slowly adapt them. Less fat, more fiber, smaller portions. This honors both your health and the parts of you that need emotional warmth. Stress slips into your meals even if you do not see it on your plate. It raises cortisol and adrenaline, hormones that can drive up blood sugar, blood pressure, and visceral fat. Chronic stress often leads to emotional eating. Practicing slow breathing before meals, or pausing to notice colors and smells, can reduce stress's impact. This small ritual supports both metabolism and heart. Willpower fades when you are tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, which happens often with metabolic syndrome. Planning, however, waits patiently in your fridge. Batch cooking grains or beans, chopping vegetables ahead, or choosing recipes for the week turns. What should I eat? Into what have I already prepared? In that moment, planning becomes your quiet ally when willpower is gone. What if you treated 30 minutes in the kitchen as a daily appointment with your future self? Instead of squeezing it in as an afterthought, you protect that time like a meeting. During those minutes, you are not just cooking. You are lowering LDL, supporting HDL, calming blood sugar, and honoring the life you still want to live. This small daily ritual quietly rewrites your health trajectory. Cravings can feel like shouts in your mind, especially in the evening. They may be messages of boredom, sadness, or true hunger, With metabolic syndrome, responding to every craving with sugar or fat deepens the problem. Instead, we can listen differently. Drink water, choose a small portion, or swap in a healthier alternative. Over time, your taste buds and brain learn a gentler language. Research shows that even modest weight loss, 5 to 10% of body weight, can significantly improve cholesterol, blood pressure, and blood sugar in metabolic syndrome. That might mean 5 to 10 kilograms for many people. Each 30-minute meal is not magic by itself, yet together they add up. A little less sugar, a bit more fiber, slightly smaller portions. The numbers on your lab report begin to shift. Imagine a person much like you. After a frightening checkup, they decided to give themselves 1 month of 30-minute low-cholesterol meals. The first week felt clumsy. By the second week, recipes became familiar. At the end of the month, their clothes fit a bit looser, energy felt steadier, and follow-up labs showed small improvements. Not perfection, progress. That story can be yours too. Life does not pause for metabolic syndrome. You will still eat at restaurants and gatherings. The goal is not to avoid life, but to navigate it. Choosing grilled over fried, asking for dressings on the side, prioritizing vegetables and lean proteins, and skipping sugary drinks can protect your progress. One meal will not break you, but repeated patterns will. Choose patterns that love your heart. Alcohol may seem harmless in small amounts, and some studies suggest modest benefit for HDL. Yet for many with metabolic syndrome, alcohol adds empty calories, raises triglycerides, and can disrupt blood sugar and sleep. If you drink, doing so mindfully and within medical advice is crucial. For some, the safest support for heart and liver is to reduce or avoid alcohol altogether. Food is powerful, but it is only one part of your care. Medications, blood tests, and professional guidance all matter, especially with metabolic syndrome. Never stop or change medicines based solely on videos or books. Use your questions about diet as a bridge to deeper conversations with your doctor or dietitian. Together, you can tailor a plan that respects your unique body and history. Numbers can be frightening, but they can also be feedback. Tracking waist circumference, weight, blood pressure, and lab values over months allows you to see how 30-minute meals reshape your health. Instead of dreading results, you begin to anticipate them as the next chapter in your story. Each small improvement becomes encouragement, proof that your daily efforts matter. Metabolic syndrome arises from a combination of genetics, environment, stress, sleep, and modern food supply. It is not a simple failure of will. Blame only adds more weight to a heart already carrying enough. What matters now is not whose fault it is, but what choices you can make today and tomorrow. Compassion toward yourself becomes fertile soil for lasting change. For some, the kitchen has been a source of stress, conflict, or shame. The 30-minute low-cholesterol approach invites you to reclaim it as a healing space. Turn on gentle music, open a window, and let light in. With each chopped vegetable and stirred pot, you are not just making food, you are building new associations, safety, care, and hope living right on your countertop. Pause for a moment and imagine, what would change if for the next 8 weeks, you truly committed to 30-minute low-cholesterol meals most days? Not perfectly, but faithfully. How might your energy feel? Your waistline, your lab results, your confidence? This question hangs in the air like a door slightly open. On the other side may be a version of you that you have not yet met. Let us bring this vision down to earth. Choose 3 simple breakfasts, 3 lunches, and 3 dinners you can make in 30 minutes. Rotate them for 1 week, perhaps oatmeal, vegetable omelets, and yogurt with fruit for breakfast, bean salads, whole grain sandwiches, and leftovers for lunch, stir fries, baked fish, and hearty soups for dinner. If this feels overwhelming, remember, you need only start with 1 meal. There will be days when takeout wins, when you eat mindlessly, or when old habits return. Metabolic syndrome is a long-term challenge, and change is rarely a straight line. Instead of giving up after a setback, you can treat it as data. What triggered me? How can I plan differently? In this way, even your missteps become teachers guiding you back to your 30-minute kitchen. Imagine meeting yourself 10 years from now. Will that person thank you for today's meals, or look back with regret? When you choose to cook a 30-minute low-cholesterol dinner, instead of reaching for processed food, you send a small gift through time. Your future self unwraps it as fewer medications, more freedom of movement, and another morning to stand at the mirror and feel hopeful. Every body responds differently. Cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, and medications create a unique landscape within you. Before making major dietary changes, especially if you take medicines for diabetes, blood pressure, or cholesterol, please consult your physician or a qualified healthcare professional. Together, you can adjust your plans safely without risking low blood sugar or other complications. Let us gather the threads. Metabolic syndrome is not a sentence but a signal. Cholesterol, blood sugar, blood pressure, and waist size are voices asking for help. The 30-minute low cholesterol kitchen answers them one meal at a time with more fiber, healthier fats, fewer refined sugars, balanced portions, and gentle cooking. In this quiet, daily rhythm, your heart can begin to trust you again. When this video ends, your next 30 minutes are about to begin. You can choose to scroll on or to step into your kitchen and protect your heart. If today's journey gave you clarity or courage, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it with someone facing metabolic syndrome. Then choose one simple recipe, set a 30-minute timer, and let your healing story begin.